The Christmas tree in my parents' living room was 12 feet tall and covered in designer ornaments. Beneath it sat mountains of wrapped presents in coordinated silver and gold paper, all tied with expensive velvet ribbons. My 3 gifts, in plain red paper, with simple bows, looked pathetic by comparison. Okay, everyone. Mom clapped her hands together. Let's do presents. 14 relatives gathered around the tree. My parents, my brother Jason and his wife Melissa, my sister Vanessa and her husband, Craig, Aunt Mary and Uncle Tom. My cousins, Rachel and David with their spouses, and my grandmother, sitting in the chair of honor by the fireplace. I sat on the floor near the back, trying to be invisible. Jason, you first. Mom handed him a large silver box. He opened it to reveal a designer watch. Wow, Mom, this is incredible. Thank you. Nothing but the best for my boy, Mom beamed. Jason held up the watch for everyone to admire. I knew that brand. That watch cost at least $3,500. Vanessa, your turn. Mom handed my sister an even larger box. Vanessa unwrapped it to find a complete set of designer luggage. She squealed and hugged Mom. I can't believe you remembered. I wanted this. The luggage set was at least $2,000. I'd seen it at the mall. Of course, I remembered. Honey, only the best for my princess. One by one, Mom distributed expensive gifts. A new iPad for Uncle Tom. Diamond earrings for Aunt Mary. Gaming consoles for the younger cousins. Designer handbags. Premium electronics, everything top tier. Then Mom picked up one of my plain red packages. Oh, these are from Sophie. She said my name like it was an afterthought. Jason opened his gift from me. A book. A nice hardcover book by an author he'd mentioned liking, but still a book. He held it up. Oh, a book. Thanks, Sophie. You said you wanted to read it, I said quietly. Yeah, sure. Great. He set it aside without really looking at it. Vanessa opened hers. A scented candle set from Target. Nice candles, the expensive kind from Target, but still very clearly from Target. She stared at it. Candles. You said you liked that scent, I offered. I mean, yeah. Thanks. She set it down like it might contaminate her. Mom opened hers, a photo frame with a picture of the whole family from last year's Christmas. She looked at it. Look at me. Then looked at all the expensive gifts she'd given everyone else. A frame, she said flatly. I thought you could put it on your desk, Sophie. Sweetie, you could have at least tried. Mom set the frame down. Everyone else brought nice gifts. You brought candles and a used frame. It's not used. It's new, dollar store new, maybe. She laughed. Not a mean laugh, worse a pitying laugh. Honey, I know money's tight for you, but you don't have to act so poor. It's embarrassing. The room went quiet. I'm not acting poor, I said. Well, you're certainly not acting successful. Look at your gifts. Look at what everyone else brought. Mom gestured around the room. Jason brought me a spa weekend. Vanessa got your father those golf clubs he wanted. You brought a frame from Target. I thought it was thoughtful. Thoughtful would be spending more than $20 on your mother. Mom's voice had an edge now. You're 33 years old, Sophie. You have a good job. Why are you acting like you can't afford nice things? I can afford nice things. Then why don't you buy them? Why do you always show up to family events looking like you shop at Goodwill? Why are you driving that ancient Honda? Why are you still renting that tiny apartment? My brother Jason jumped in. Mom's got a point, Soph. You make decent money. What do you even spend it on? Yeah, Vanessa added. Are you in debt or something? Is that why you're always so cheap? I'm not cheap. You literally brought Target candles to Christmas, Melissa said. Jason's wife, feeling comfortable enough to pile on now. That's pretty cheap. Aunt Mary cleared her throat. Now, girls, I'm sure Sophie has her reasons. The reason is she's bad with money. Mom interrupted. She always has been. Remember when she was in college and we had to bail her out because she overspent on textbooks? That was one time. And then there was the car repair she couldn't afford. And the medical bill we helped with. She's just not financially responsible. I felt my face burning. 14 people were watching this. I've never asked you for money, I said quietly, because you know we'd say no at this point. You need to learn to manage better. Mom picked up the photo frame again, looking at it like it was evidence of my failure. This is just sad, Sophie. You're better than this. Stop acting poor and start acting like part of this family. Part of this family, I repeated. Yes. We're successful people. We have standards, and your cheap gifts, your cheap clothes, your cheap lifestyle reflects poorly on all of us. Something inside me went very, very calm. You think I'm cheap, I said. It wasn't a question. I think you're struggling financially and too proud to admit it, Mom said. And that's fine. We all struggle sometimes. But don't bring your poverty to Christmas and make us all uncomfortable. Uncomfortable, I echoed. I pulled my laptop out of my bag. I'd brought it to show Grandma some photos later, but now it was going to serve a different purpose. What are you doing? Mom asked. Showing you my finances, since apparently we're discussing them in front of everyone. Sophie, that's not necessary. I opened my laptop, logged into my banking app, pulled up the spreadsheet I'd been maintaining for the past 4 years. What is that? Vanessa asked, leaning closer. My financial records. Every payment I've made to family members over the past 4 years. Since apparently I'm cheap and bad with money, I thought you'd all like to see where my money actually goes. The room went silent again, but this time it was a different kind of silence. I turned the laptop toward Mom. January 2022 present. 4 years. Let me break it down for you. I pulled up the first category. Mom and Dad's car payments, $847 per month. I've been paying them for 48 months. That's $40,656. Mom's face went pale. Vanessa's student loans, minimum payment, $320 per month. I've been covering them for 36 months because you were between jobs. That's $11,520. Vanessa grabbed Craig's arm. Jason's credit card debt. You asked me to help you pay it off 2 years ago. I've paid $450 per month for 24 months. That's $10,800. Jason's mouth fell open. Mom's medical bills from her surgery, $8,200. Paid in full, October 2021. Sophie. Mom tried. Dad's home office renovation. He said the contractor needed a deposit. $6,500. Never paid back. You said that was a gift. Dad called out from his chair. You said you'd pay me back when the tax refund came. It never came. I scrolled down. Vanessa's wedding. You said you were short on the catering bill. I gave you $4,000. That was a loan. Vanessa started. That you never paid back. Jason's down payment assistance when you bought your house, $7,500. Also never paid back. We're going to pay you back. Jason protested. It's been 3 years. I'm not holding my breath. I pulled up the totals. 4 years of family assistance, $89,176 in direct payments, plus Grandma's assisted living facility costs. Everyone turned to look at Grandma. 3 years at Meadowbrook Senior Living. $2,800 per month. I've been paying $1,400 of that LFT cost because Mom and Dad said they couldn't afford it. That's $50,400. Grandma's hand went to her mouth. Grand total of family financial assistance over 4 years. $139,576. Average monthly family support, $2,908. I turned the laptop around so everyone could see the spreadsheet. Every payment. Every date. Every family member's name. So when you say I'm cheap and bad with money and act poorly, want you to understand something. I make $88,000 a year. After taxes, that's about $5,500 a month. I've been spending $2,908 of that, 53% of my take-home pay, supporting this family. The silence was deafening. That's why I drive a 12-year-old Honda. That's why I rent a tiny apartment. That's why I shop at Target. Because I've been paying for your car, Vanessa's student loans, Jason's debt, grandma's care, and every other financial emergency that comes up in this family. Mom was shaking her head. We didn't know it was that much. You knew exactly how much it was. Every time you asked, I told you the amount. You just never added it up. You never thought about the cumulative cost. But you never said you couldn't afford it, Vanessa protested. I shouldn't have to say no. You shouldn't be asking your sister to pay your student loans while you go on vacation to Canada. You shouldn't be asking your daughter to pay your car payment while you buy $3,500 watches for your son. I looked at Jason. You got a designer watch for Christmas? I've paid $10,800 of your credit card debt. See the math there? I looked at Vanessa. You got a $2,000 luggage set. I paid $4,000 for your wedding catering and $11,520 of your student loans. You're going to use that fancy luggage to go on trips I'm subsidizing? She was crying now. And Mom, I turned to her. You got diamond earrings from Dad? Beautiful. I closed the laptop. I'm cheap because I've been keeping all of you afloat. I act poor because I am poor. I've given away 53% of my income to this family for 4 years. My phone buzzed. Then Mom's phone. Then Vanessa's. I looked at my banking app. The automated payments I'd scheduled for January 1st, 4 days, AYY, had been canceled. The system had sent notifications to everyone. Mom looked at her phone. Her face went white. What did you do? I canceled all the payments. Every automatic transfer to every family member, effective immediately. You can't do that! Vanessa shrieked. I just did! January 1st. You're all on your own. Dad stood up. Sophie, you can't just cut off your family. Watch me. 4 years of financial support. 4 years of sacrificing my own financial security. 4 years of being called cheap and poor and irresponsible. I'm done! Jason's phone buzzed. Then Melissa's. Then Craig's. What's happening? Melissa asked, looking at her phone. The car payment for Mom and Dad's car is declined, I explained. It was scheduled to auto-pay from my account on January 1st. T's system is notifying the financing company that the payment method has been canceled. Mom grabbed her phone with shaking hands. We'll be late on our car payment, then make the payment yourself. $847. Due by the 5th or you'll get a late fee. We can't afford $847. Then you shouldn't have bought a car you can't afford. But that's not my problem anymore. Vanessa's phone buzzed again. My student loan payment is also canceled. $320. Due by the 15th. You'll need to set up your own payment method. I can't afford that and my rent. Then, I guess you'll need to budget better. Maybe skip a few trips to the nail salon. Aunt Mary was staring at the spreadsheet on my laptop. Sophie, honey, I had no idea you were doing all this. Nobody did. Because nobody asked, you all just took and never once wondered how I was managing. We thought you were fine, Mom started. You thought I was cheap. You said it 10 minutes ago, in front of everyone. Uncle Tom spoke up for the first time. Carol, you told me Sophie was bad with money. You said she was always broke and asking for help. That's what I thought, Mom said defensively. No, that's what you told yourself to justify taking my money while mocking my lifestyle. I stood up. I need you all to understand something. I'm not the one who's bad with money. You are, all of you. I looked at each of them. Jason, you make $95,000 a year and couldn't pay off a credit card. Vanessa, you make $72,000 and can't afford your student loan payment. Mom and Dad, you have 2 pensions and Social Security and can't afford an $847 car payment. We have expenses, Dad tried. So do I. But I managed them without taking money from my family and then calling them cheap. I grabbed my coat. I'm leaving? Merry Christmas. Sophie. Wait, Mom stood up. But I was already at the door. Don't. Just don't. Just don't. I walked out into the December cold, got into my 12-year-old Honda, and drove to my tiny apartment, and for the first time in 4 years, I felt rich. December 27th, the call started on the 26th, dozens of TM. The texts were more interesting. Mom, please call me. We need to talk about this. Jason, you can't just abandon us right before the new year. Our payments are due. Vanessa, this is cruel. You know I can't afford my student loans. Dad, your mother is very upset. You need to apologize. I deleted them all. What I did instead was look at my bank balance. Without the $2,908 in monthly family payments scheduled for January, I suddenly had extra money. Extra money. I opened a new spreadsheet. Sophie's Budget Post-Family Support Edition. Income, $5,500 month. Rent, $1,200 utilities, $150 car insurance, $85 groceries, $400 gas, $120. Phone, $75 internet, $60 subscriptions, $45 MISC $200. Total expenses, $2,335 remaining, $3,165, $3,000 a month. I stared at the number. That was how much I'd have left over if I stopped supporting my family. I could save for a house, buy a new car, go on vacation, build an actual retirement fund. I could live. December 30th, Aunt Mary called. Unlike the others, I answered. Sophie, it's me. Do you have a minute? For you? Yes. I want you to know something. I believe you. About the money. About everything. Thank you. Your mother called me crying yesterday, said you'd exaggerated the amounts, that it couldn't possibly be $139,000. I have receipts. Every single one. I know you do. That's why I called your mother back and told her she needed to face reality, that she'd been taking advantage of you for years. How did she respond? She hung up on me. Aunt Mary sighed. I'm sorry, Sophie. I saw you struggling at holidays, saw you wearing the same clothes, driving that old car. I should have asked why. It's okay, it's not okay. I'm your aunt. I should have looked out for you. Instead, I let your mother's narrative that you were bad with money cloud. My judgment, Aunt Mary? Let me finish. I want you to know that if you need anything, a reference, a place to stay, someone to talk to, I'm here. Not because I want to make up for lost time, but because you deserve family who actually supports you instead of draining you. I had to wipe my eyes. Thank you. Merry Christmas, Sophie. The Relkind, where people actually care about you. January 1, Saint New Year's Day. The day all the payments were due and none of them would process. I spent the morning at a coffee shop, working on my laptop. Around noon, my phone started buzzing with unknown numbers. I let them all go to voicemail. Later, I listened. Car financing company, calling mom and dad about the declined payment. Student loan servicer calling Vanessa about her account. Credit card company calling Jason about his minimum payment. All of them confused about why the autopay had been canceled. I saved the voicemails, just in case. January 3 Road, I got an email from my mother's attorney, Señora Anne-Sophie Chun. This office represents Carol and Richard Chun regarding alleged loans made between 2020 and 2024. We request that you provide documentation of these alleged loans, including promissory notes, signed agreements, and terms of repayment. Without such documentation, our clients contend that any money exchanged was given as gifts, not loans, and therefore no repayment is required. I read it twice. Then, I called my own attorney. A college friend, who'd become a contract lawyer. Lisa, I need advice. 30 minutes later, after explaining everything, Lisa laughed. Oh, Sophie. This is beautiful. Beautiful. Your mother's attorney just made a huge mistake. He's claiming the money was gifts. Gifts over a certain amount require gift tax filings. If your parents received $139,000 in gifts over 4 years and didn't report them, they're looking at serious IRS penalties. I wasn't trying to get them in trouble, I know. But they're trying to claim you can't stop paying them. And their legal argument is that you gave them gifts, which means they have no legal right to demand you continue giving gifts. So what do I do? Nothing. Let me respond. I'll explain very clearly that whether the money was loans or gifts, you have zero legal obligation to continue providing financial support. And I'll mention the gift tax issue. That should shut them up. January 15th, Vanessa showed up at my apartment. I saw her through the peephole. Considered not answering, but curiosity won. What do you want? I asked through the cracked door. To talk, please. I let her in. She looked terrible, eyes red, hair unwashed, wearing sweatpants. My student loans are in default, she said, sitting on my couch uninvited. They're adding late fees. My credit score dropped 40 points. Okay. That's all you have to say? What do you want me to say? That you'll help me. That you'll fix this. Why would I do that? Because you're my sister. And you're my sister who called my Christmas gifts cheap and laughed when Mom said I was poor. I didn't mean it. Yes, you did. You meant every word. You all did. I stayed standing while she sat. Vanessa, I paid $11,520 of your student loans. Almost $12,000. And you thanked me by mocking my Target candles. I said I didn't mean it. You didn't mean it now that you need my money. But you meant it at Christmas when you thought I was just the poor sister. She started crying. I'm going to lose my apartment. I can't afford rent and student loans and my car payments. Craig and I are barely making it. Then maybe you shouldn't have gone to Cancun in November. That was before you knew the money would stop, before you realized you actually had to budget. I shook my head. Vanessa, you make $72,000 a year. Your student loan payment is $320 a month. That's less than 5% of your gross income. If you can't afford that, you're living above your means. But we have expenses, so do I. But I manage them without taking money from family. Only because you have no life. You don't go out, you don't travel, you don't do anything. I don't do those things because I was paying your bills. She stood up. So that's it. You're just going to let me default. Let my credit be ruined. I'm going to let you handle your own responsibilities like an adult? You're a bitch. You know that. I'm a bitch who paid $11,520 of your debt. You're welcome. She left, slamming the door. January 20th, Jason showed up at my office. Security called me. There's a Jason Chun here to see you. Tell him I'm busy. He says it's an emergency. It's not. I heard Jason's voice in the background, arguing with the security guard. I went downstairs. Jason, you need to leave. Not until you talk to me. He looked desperate. My credit cards are maxed out. I can't make the minimum payments. Melissa is freaking out. So make a budget. Cut expenses. We can't. We have a mortgage, 2 car payments, daycare. Sounds like a you problem. Sophie, please. I'll pay you back, I promise. Just help me get through this month. No. I'm done being your bank. Figure it out yourself. But we're family. Family doesn't take $10,800 and then mock each other's Christmas gifts. I apologized for that. No, you didn't. You've texted me asking for money. That's not an apology. Sophie, I'm begging you, and I'm saying no. Go home, Jason. Make a budget. Cut your expenses. Do what everyone else does. I could lose my house, then sell it and get something affordable. You're really going to let that happen? I'm going to let you face the consequences of your own financial decisions. Yes. February 1 month of no family payments. My bank balance was higher than it had been in 4 years. I went to a financial advisor. A real one. At a real firm. Ms. Chun, thank you for coming in. I've reviewed the information you sent. You're in a very strong position. You make $88,000 a year. You have minimal debt, your monthly expenses are reasonable, and you're finally retaining income instead of giving it away. She smiled. Let's talk about your goals. 2 hours later, I left with a plan, build emergency fund. $15,000 by June *, max out $401,000, $23,000 per year *, save for house down payment, $50,000 in 18 months, * buy a new car. $30,000 in 12 months for the first time in years. I had goals that were about me. March 15th, Mom called from a number I didn't recognize. I answered without thinking. Sophie, thank God. I've been trying to reach you. What do you want? We're losing the car. The financing company is repossessing it. We're 3 payments behind. That's $2,541. Seems like you should have budgeted for that. We can't afford it. We need that car. Then you shouldn't have bought a car with an $847 payment. Sophie, please. We're your parents. We raised you. You owe us. I owe you nothing. I gave you $48,856 over 4 years. I've more than repaid any debt from childhood. You can't put a price on raising a child. You did. At Christmas, when you mocked my gifts and called me cheap, you put a price on our relationship, and apparently, it was more than a Target photo frame. I said I was sorry. No, you didn't. You never apologized. You just started asking for money again. Please, just the car payment. Just this once, no. But I hung up. June 1 Saint, 6 months without family payments. I'd saved $18,000. Bought a new car, 2024 Honda Accord. Started looking at condos. My family had stopped calling. Mostly, Aunt Mary sent me updates. * Mom and Dad lost the car. Dad borrowed Uncle Tom's old pickup truck. * Vanessa's student loans were in collections. She'd moved to a cheaper apartment. * JC had sold his house. Moved his family to a rental. * Grandma was still at Meadowbrook. Mom and Dad had taken out a loan to cover the costs I'd been paying. I felt nothing about any of it. Not guilt, not satisfaction. Just ... nothing. December 2, 1 year later, I spent Christmas Eve at Aunt Mary's house. Just her, Uncle Tom, and me. Quiet. Peaceful. I got you something, Aunt Mary sighed, handing me a small box. Inside was a beautiful necklace. Simple, elegant, expensive. Aunt Mary, this is too much. It's not. It's what you deserve. Thoughtfulness. Quality. Someone who actually sees you. I hugged her. Thank you. Your mother called me yesterday, asked if you'd be at their Christmas tomorrow. What did you tell her? That you wouldn't. That you'd made other plans. She cried. How do you feel about that? Honestly, I think she's crying about the wrong thing. She should be crying about how she treated you, not about you being absent. Uncle Tom raised his glass to Sophie, who had the courage to choose herself. We drank, and it was the best Christmas I'd ever had. Epilogue. 2 years later. I'm 35 now. I own a condo, 2 bedrooms, beautiful kitchen, balcony with city views. My car is paid off. I have $47,000 in savings and a 401k that's actually funded. I'm dating someone who thinks my financial responsibility is attractive. We're talking about moving in together. My family sends occasional emails, birthday cards, attempts at reconciliation that always seem to coincide with financial problems. I don't respond because I learned something important. You can't set yourself on fire to keep other people warm. You can sacrifice your future for people who mock your present. My mother sent a letter last month. Sophie, I understand now. What we did to you, what we took from you, the opportunities we stole. I'm sorry. We were wrong. If there's any way to make this right, please tell me. I read it 3 times. Then I filed it away. Maybe, someday, I'll respond. Maybe someday I'll be ready to have a relationship with them again. But not today. Today, I'm going to enjoy my condo, my car, my fully funded retirement account, and my peace. Because I earned it, and no one, not even family, can take it away from me.